Hello, and welcome to Postcards from Palisade, the podcast that's all about the people and places and the rain that make this slice of Western Colorado wonderful. I'm your host, Lisa McNamara. Today I'm talking with Cody Butters Lewis. Cody and her husband Mike own and operate the Homestead, the newest lodging establishment in Palisade. Cody and Mike bought the Homestead in 2021 and spent the next 14 months renovating it. We talked about all the ups and downs of that process.
The nights were hard, when you're looking at the bills and how we were going to do it, and honestly, I have no idea how we did it. It was the hardest year of my life.
And about what has changed about Palisade since Cody grew up here.
We were more well-kept secret. We're not so well-kept anymore, but that's okay, because if you don't grow, you're stagnant.
And what Cody values most about the Palisade area.
Our agricultural heritage is the most important thing to Palisade, and we wouldn't have what we have without the Colorado River. I'm so proud that I went to school with people that are now farmers. We all benefit from them keeping it so beautiful here, and having this agricultural piece in Palisade is special.
Keep listening to hear all that and more. Thanks so much for spending some time with us today.
I'm Cody Butters Lewis, and I'm a Palisade native, but just moved back about 14 months ago. My husband and I and our two kids bought the old Palisade Lodge. It's now the Homestead, little boutique inn/motel. I also have another job that helps pay the bills, but we won't talk about that right now. We'll just talk about this.
Sounds good. So what made you decide to open a lodge and buy this property?
Oh, so many things. Love the hospitality industry, love people. Some might say it's just kind of a built-in natural instinct for me, right? To just take care of people. Love that. But I'm also kind of part of the post-COVID recentering of your soul and life. And we were living in Texas, and we'd had our second child, and was just feeling the need to get back to Colorado, get closer to family, but also trying to figure out how to make a living here. And I'd actually been looking at this property for probably close to a decade, and was kind of waiting to see if it would ever go on sale. It never did. I actually just came and knocked on the door of the owners and asked if they would ever be willing to sell. I was alive and willing to buy, but was very respectful in doing so. I wasn't trying to make them feel like I was being pushy in any way, but that's kind of the beginning part of the story.
And so when you knocked on the door, what did they say?
So
Eventually, obviously, they said, okay.
Eventually would be the key word. The owner, she was a little bit taken aback, but she said that they were interested in selling. Her and her husband had gotten ill and just were having a hard time keeping up with the place. It also hadn't been operating as a lodge since probably 2007. Is what I can kind of deduce from their paperwork. And so she said she was interested, and she said she was talking to another private buyer, and again, ever so delicately was, can you give me a range, what you're looking for? And, I had no idea if we could do it or not. It just kind of, the conversation just evolved as we were standing on the front porch. So she gave me a range, and I went right to I left here and gave her my card, and I called the local real estate folks over at Craig Realty, and I was like, fruit and wine, excuse me. I was like, what is going on? What is this? Is that? Who's trying to buy this place? And trying to figure everything out without getting into all the crazy details. Mm-hmm. We ended up getting under contract, I think, 3 months later, without ever stepping foot inside the property. I'd really only been on the front porch.
So what was it about this specific place?
I mean, truth be told, watching what Jeff and Jody did with the Spoken Vine was incredibly inspirational. I've been going by that motel my whole life and kind of just stopped paying attention to it just because it was there, and to see them come in with a vision and take, a pretty key part of Palisade and make it beautiful and fun and relevant was completely I was like, why didn't I think of that, But I couldn't take on a project that size. This felt like something that maybe we could do. Again, had no idea if we could do it or not as we were moving through the process. So that was a big thing. And then again, paying attention to hospitality and that being something that's important to me and my husband, this felt like something that would be a good opportunity for us.
And how many rooms is it?
So we technically have 6 bedrooms, but it's 5 units. So we have 4 rooms with 2 queen beds and then 2 rooms with a king bed, and then 5 and 6 are joined by a door. So it's technically a 2-bedroom suite.
Mm-hmm. That's a nice size. Seems really manageable just in terms of the number of people you would have here on a regular basis.
Yeah, Spoken Vine I think has 18 rooms, so 6 rooms and a house. We do have the house too. Oh, and that was the other part, right? Like, this is a cool situation where it's our business and our home. I don't know very many places that, operate like this. So uniquely, we can do it because we live here as well as have the homestead as our business. So.
And when did you close on the property?
Let's see, it was December 17th, 2021, and we started construction December 19th, 2021.
So you closed, you got over here, you saw it for the first time, and 2 days later, you started demoing.
Well, our first walkthrough was actually, so we got it under contract in August of 2021, and we flew up from Texas and did an inspection and a walkthrough. So that was the first time we actually got to get inside the building. We didn't know that the house was a duplex. So 2 kitchens, 2 living rooms, it was split in half, 2 different entries, very unique layout. The rooms, they had a lot of stuff in there and things weren't working properly. There was things leaking, the toilet and the sink, and kind of had to think the worst as far as septic system and what we needed to do there. We did do a commercial inspection at the same time. So we had all kinds of engineers out here checking things out for us to let us know if the bones were good, was the plumbing okay? Like, how much would we really have to get into this? And actually the bones were good. So the bones were good, but we did end up having to replace damn near everything.
Yeah, right, because you're not on the city sewer, and are you on city water?
We're on Palisade water,
okay.
Thank goodness.
So
best water on the planet.
The only thing you have to...
Yeah, the septic, it is the best, right? Our septic system, so we have a septic on the house and then a septic on the back 6 is what we call it. We had to redo the septic for the lodge, but not for the house. So this was in working order, but we had to replace all of the plumbing, all the electrical, water heaters, all the things. I didn't buy 1 toilet, I bought 9 toilets. It's the weird.
Excuse me, sorry, you got your toilets in bulk.
I know, I was like sweating in Home Depot going, can I have 9 of these? It's just a weird experience, So, and again, the nights were hard, when you're looking at the bills and how we were going to do it. And honestly, I have no idea how we did it. We financially really stretched ourselves out, but with projections that we'll recover, and we will. We're going to do just fine. And the support of the community has been amazing. From our neighbors, coming into a place that hadn't been run as a business for quite some time, didn't know if that was going to be well received. And it was. Everybody's been so great. So we're really, really fortunate in that aspect. And then all the local business owners, everybody that's been willing to, whether it be giving us our advice or help get our name out there, it's been fantastic. So I'm not worried. We're going to be okay.
Yeah, but it's scary at the start and overwhelming in the middle of a renovation project, especially this big.
Incredibly.
So you said there's a good story about the renovation, or probably like good stories. How long did it take?
It was about 14 months. I think when we first kind of started working with our general contractor and my husband was here, And when I say our general contractor, it was him and his father out here every day working themselves, which I just thought was so cool. And then it was my husband and his brother out here working. And then it was the septic guy and his dad were working. And I got some fun pictures. I was like, man, it's like a full family affair out here. And it was very, I don't know if intimate's the word, but it was just, felt right. Like, it was just really cool. It was a family affair. So yeah, our first plan, I think, was we were told about 5 months renovation. And then I'm not sure if you know this, but 2022 was a rough year when it comes to construction costs. So everything was crazy, but it took longer because we waited in certain stages to, prices to come down or things to shift a little bit. And we were fortunate to have people on our side there too, to have the wherewithal to help us save a little bit of money and try to get it done within budget, which we're definitely not within budget, but that's mostly my fault.
It's really hard.
It's mostly my fault. It's so hard. I was like, I don't even know why we have a budget at this point. So, but it's done, so there you have it.
Yes, you're on the other side of it now.
I know. Right?
So what was the weirdest thing that you found through the process?
Oh my gosh, that's a tall question. Well, we had a wasp problem that was attacking everybody that was working on the property. And then I told you about the carpenter ants. Down on here, yeah. So that we had our hot tub. We had a hot tub in the gazebo that was full of carpenter ants, which, by the way, is not fun to get in there and try to remediate. So that was dangerous, yet handled. One of my favorite stories was, so when we closed on the property, and I hired the general contractor 2 days later, the next day, I think it was a few days later, because we had to clear out the garage. It was full of stuff, but we needed to unload our 2 U-Hauls from Texas. So they were sitting out in front of my dad's house on G Road. We had to get all this stuff out of the garage so we could unload our things. So we had all of our friends come over one afternoon, and they unloaded those U-Hauls in an hour and a half. It was amazing. It was like a well-oiled machine. And I'd already had a big dumpster dropped off. And because we got done so quickly, my girlfriends just looked around and just started picking up stuff and throwing it in the dumpster. I think it was almost like a therapy session. But there was, a lot of leftover items and trash and furniture and so many things. We filled that dumpster in less than 2 hours, and we were having a blast doing it. That was a good day, but that was the beginning of a very long journey, but that was a good day.
Was there ever a moment that you were just like, I don't want to do this?
Yes, many moments. I will be honest about that. I mean, when I almost have to fight back tears sometimes, but it was the hardest year of my life and hard on our marriage. And again, without the support of my dad, we lived over at the house I grew up in my whole life, rent free, thank God. My kids stayed in my old bedroom together, but they were troopers. They were so happy and had a blast. They loved staying at Grandpa's farm. Because you worry about that, right? Are you messing up the kids? Are they okay? They were fine. They had a great time. But we, again, never going through something like this, you don't know what to expect. You can plan all day, but plans are made to be broken, in my opinion. And tough conversations, trying to find the money when you really, really need it. It was incredibly stressful. Oh, by the way, I had started a new job, and I was traveling a lot. But I had to do it, so we had some financial stability. But we got through it. But yeah, I would say October, November, I was really hurting Scooter.
I mean, that's the thing that I really had to learn too, is just things are going to go wrong. You will never have a perfect project, and no matter what you do, even if you think you've prepared and you've done everything right, something's going to go wrong. There's always something unexpected.
Amen, sister.
And you just have to learn how to deal with that stuff and let go of the fact that you're thinking it's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Because it just isn't.
It isn't.
Something's going to go wrong.
Something inevitably goes wrong. You're so right. And looking back and all those hard conversations and sleepless nights and endless research and all these things, there was never one time that I knew we wouldn't do it. Did I want to walk away or like take a reprieve? Absolutely. But I knew we'd get it done. Mm-hmm. We had to. There was like no other option. Like, we have to do this. We have to finish. And we're fortunate enough that, again, with the support and certain things falling into place for us, we were able to get it done. And we're happy. It's turned out great.
Yeah.
You know, it's clean, it's cute, and it's cozy. It's home.
What's your favorite part about running a lodge?
I like the people. It's so fun. We've had people from Wisconsin, New Jersey, a few staycations, which, by the way, thank you, and a shout out to all our friends and family that have come just to rent a room. In February, I sent out a text to my girlfriends, same ones with the dumpster story, and I was like, hey girls, I need you guys to come break this sucker in. Like, I need you to come sleep in the beds and take a shower and use the towels and and mess with the heat and like make sure everything works. And did you sleep well? Can you hear each other? Like, what's it like? Yeah, and they did it, and we had a great time. We had a really fun weekend. It was Super Bowl weekend, so we kind of tied it all together. But they did. They came in, they rented the room, they got online, went through the whole process. So that was super fun. But anyways, yeah, we've had a great time with the guests coming in. Orchard Riverview across the street for weddings and special events has been real helpful for us. They've been great pushing people our way just because we're so close in proximity. You can walk there. Yeah, you can walk there. I want to figure out maybe a little safer way to get there. Yes, something. Like, I feel like we could do something down the road. But yeah, it's been great, and we're really looking forward to this summer. And I'm from Palisade, like I said. Mm-hmm. I love Palisade. I'm so proud of Palisade. So when we get our hands on our guests here, it's really fun to toe the Palisade line, right? Mm-hmm. We have so much to offer. It's a unique experience. It's family friendly. It's affordable. It's all the things that you need to have a good time and not stress about it stretching you out too thin or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just the right place to visit,
The logo, or your logo, and then the room numbers on the door, they're like a silhouette of, is it a crow?
It's a raven.
A raven.
Yeah. Not a big difference between a raven and a crow, right?
Yeah, my dad's going to be like so embarrassed when he hears us because he's a huge birder. He's going to be like, you didn't know it was a raven.
Well, anyway. It's a little tough to tell because I think you can tell the difference because of their tail and like their wingtips, which the logo does not lean itself to super clear crow versus raven. But so working on the property, we're out here, and every day there were these ravens just flying overhead. You can hear them talking to each other. They fly like right in line with the book cliffs to the east side of the property here. It's just, I don't know, it was a good omen for us. And then hanging out at my dad's house, this is a side story, but hanging out at my dad's house where we were living last year, all these ravens were hanging out in the pecan trees, and I've never seen so many like hanging out. And I was like, man, I just feel like this is something, like it's an omen, it's a good sign, it's something that means something to us. Mm-hmm. And we were trying not to be another Palisade, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were trying to find a name that would stand out a little bit, but not be like too off Palisade brand. So Homestead it was, and the raven really just stuck with us. We were trying to not make it like too ominous looking too, but ravens are good omens, and they were a very good personal omen for us. So
yeah, well, it's like uplifting though, because it's kind of flying upward.
Yeah, right.
Raven sitting there,
right. It's not mowing down on some roadkill. No, that didn't get voted in for the logo. I don't know why. Just kidding. No, we like the raven. It's cool. Yeah.
That's cool. Are you ever thinking that you're going to add on any kind of food service or anything like that in the future? Or is that something you don't even want to go there?
I'm so glad my husband isn't part of the podcast because this would start a fight. I'm just kidding. Oh, no. I'm just kidding. But kind of not. So I think you and I share in these ideas of grandeur, right? And like we want things to be what we want them to be. Mm-hmm. And in my vision of the homestead and what we were going to offer was, breakfast and all the things. And we want to get there eventually. So I think we're going to start here in the summertime once we get some more consistent bookings. We want to do breakfast in a brown bag breakfast. That's what we're going to call it. Brown bag breakfast. And we'll shoot you a text. Do you want a burrito, a sandwich, or just a yogurt, something like that? And then throw in some local fruit, maybe a juice, and just leave it on the front step at 8 o'clock or whatever. You can opt out, you can opt in, but it's not going to be like do you want scrambled eggs? And we'll leave that to the experts at the B&Bs here in Palisade that do that really well. I think it's important to have something like that. We're just trying to manage the workload with the kids and me traveling and all that good stuff. So that's why it's a differing opinion between Mike and myself, because he'll be doing it. So once we get him on board, we'll get there. We got to find out. But I like it. Brown bag breakfast. I think we're going to start that sometime in May is what I'm hoping to do.
And you have coffee in the rooms too, right?
Yes, and we do local coffee from Mountain Roasters in Grand Junction. They took over for the old Toucan, for those that will remember way back in the day. They just got new owners recently in the last couple months. But they're wonderful. We love their coffee. It's delicious. So we're offering that in the rooms. And then, it's really self-sustaining. Once you have your fun in Palisade, you come back with your goods. You don't have to go anywhere if you don't want to. You got your wine opener, you got your wine glasses, you got your fridge, you got utensils, whatever you might need to just kind of kick back and relax and rejuvenate, and so you can get after it again the next day, right?
Yeah, the back patio is so awesome.
Thank you.
The view of the cliffs, and I can just see myself sitting out there with like a glass of wine and just relaxing, and I'm sure people will meet their neighbors, and it's a cool space.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was the whole point with the backside. We have a really unique view. Buzzard's Roost is what that mountain is called back there. Did a little research and got some help from the Historical Society. John Buzzard, I guess, was his name, and he owned the land back there, so it's called Buzzard's Roost. And it's just cool. It's a cool rock formation. And then, we're at the base of the mesa, but it feels like the Book Cliffs. And then Sauvage Vineyard behind us, one of the few. It's just pretty. So I think people really enjoy hanging out back there.
Are you planning any kind of public events this season?
So we want to do events. We have to get a conditional use permit from the county to be able to do so. I have a meeting next week. So we kind of have our list of things to do. It takes a decent amount of money. Got to hire some traffic impact study stuff and engineers and some site plan things and surveyors and all the things.
Wow.
So I'll get there. But we can do private events. So I would just say, if you are interested in doing something here, just give us a call and we can talk through it and see what we can do for you. We're incredibly accommodating and flexible because, again, this is our home and our business, and it's at least worth the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Having grown up here as a local Palisade, do you say Palisadian?
You can.
Palisadian.
Palisade resident. Yeah. As a Palisade native, that's what I like to say.
Native.
Yeah, there you go.
What's your favorite part of the community, and are there any stories, or is there anything that a newer resident maybe wouldn't know that you think is really special about the place?
Our agricultural heritage is the most important thing to Palisade, and we wouldn't have what we have without the Colorado River. We wouldn't have what we have without irrigation. Our peach orchards have been here for over 130 years, I want to say. We've had people from all over the world come to work in this valley, and I do not know if this is still a true fact, but we used to be, and we still might be, the third largest producer of peaches in the country. I just think that's awesome. Again, we were more well-kept secret. We're not so well-kept anymore, but that's okay, because if you don't grow, you're stagnant, right? Mm-hmm. But I think our agricultural heritage and our roots, pun intended, are so strong and what we've done as farmers. I'm so proud that, I went to school with people that are now farmers, and they're so smart. And I just love listening to what they're doing and how they're weathering these cold nights coming up, and like how stressful it is. It just breaks my heart, but they're on it and they're doing everything they can to save the fruit, and we all benefit from them, keeping it so beautiful here. And having this agricultural piece in Palisade is special. It's special, and it's different from other parts of Colorado. I mean, yes, we have mountains, but this is really like beating heart of Palisade is our agricultural. That's what I say. That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. If and when you get a day off, how do you enjoy it? It feels like an if.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Are my kids with me, or are they not with me? Just kidding. No, our kids really like to go hike the rim trail, actually. Mm-hmm. And our 3-year-old actually does a pretty darn good job with minimal whining. Yeah,
that's impressive because it's really steep.
I know, right? He does a pretty good job. We pick him up here and there, but he does well. And Parker does a great job too. So we like to hike, we like to bike, we go to Riverbend quite a bit. We love to ski in the wintertime, and we actually got a few days in this year, which was really fun at Powderhorn, and the snow was amazing. So that was awesome. I want to go to Glenwood here in the next week or so, do a little just recharge trip. But I mean, honestly, we just enjoy being outside. We enjoy being outside here in Colorado, and that's it. I mean, we're pretty easy, I guess, right? I mean, I'd love to go to St. John, but it's not in the cards right now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Wouldn't that be nice?
I
know. Nice. Wouldn't that be so nice? I know. Someday. 3 to 5 years, we'll get back at it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. What do you like to do in your free time?
I like the same. I mean,
right?
I love hiking, biking. You mentioned how nice it would be to have a path along here.
Yes.
Like, why is there not better bike infrastructure in Palisade? Just a sidewalk. I mean, just something.
I know.
Because people, you don't want to be walking on the shoulder of the road.
Yeah. I know.
So anyway, I'm veering off the rant.
That's okay, but also, we have a lot of work to do. We're a work in progress as a community, as a town. We're trying to figure this all out. Mm-hmm. The biking is kind of a newer-ish, right, in the last decade, pull for this area. And we'll figure it out.
Absolutely.
But the input is important, and letting, our town folks know that we have these needs or thoughts, and then we got to work together to do it,
Mm-hmm.
But it can be done.
Just road by. No, I'm hopeful that I'm hopeful that can be done. And it's just, you just need a slight improvement and it'll be amazing. But yeah, I love biking around here. I like mountain biking, easy stuff.
So not the plunge?
No, I've hiked the plunge and been like, how? Seriously,
me
some
too.
parts are scary to walk down.
No, I know, and I've seen some people carrying their bikes in certain spots, and I'm like, how did you even get this far? Have you been carrying it the whole time, or just this one part?
I know. Oh yeah, I'd be walking my bike the whole time.
Yeah.
No, so I like the easy stuff, over by Fruta.
The
really fun,
loops.
flowy trails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like to mountain bike too. We haven't got to go as much with the little ones, but I guess there's some really cool programs somebody was telling me about yesterday. Bone shakers for kids. So they take them on the bike trails and they teach them how to do it. So that would be cool,
That's
right?
awesome.
How cool would that be to learn that when you were 6 or 7, right?
When we were at 18 Road, oh my gosh, there was a whole bus of very small children.
Uh-huh.
And, their little bikes, and they were all kind of gathering to go down Castle Run.
Okay.
They're all gathering at the top, and so my husband and I had just got up there, and we were like, oh, we better hurry up and go before these kids go. And then we're going down the trail, and I'm like, that was so dumb. These kids are fearless. They're so much better than me. They're all going to catch up to me.
They're going to run me over.
Yeah, they were so good.
That's what I'm talking about. That's so cool to have that opportunity.
It is.
I didn't have that when I was a kid here, but I'm so glad that my kids will have the opportunity to do so. Mm-hmm. And they wouldn't have had that if we stayed in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
It'd just be a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
I do want to mention, because we really want to pull on the mountain biking community, because we are right here,
mm-hmm.
and
right here being
right next to the Palisade Plunge and the Rim Trail, and right at the beginning of the riverfront trail. It's cool, but we have like secure bike storage.
Nice.
We're going to make it a little fancier, but right now it's the garage, but it's secure, so you're welcome. And then, but yeah, and maybe there's a shuttle service, something that we can partner with people on or whatever. We want to figure that out. So as we evolve, I think the biking community will be a really good demographic for us.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, so if you're biking over the plunge trail, it's not even half mile.
No, it's like a quarter mile.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just right there. Awesome. You can see it. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Come down off the plunge, roll right over here.
Yeah.
Go on that back patio.
Yep. And just chill.
Lay down.
Yeah. Don't forget to crack a cold one.
Right.
Yeah.
Have a little panic attack.
Yeah. Still got it. I made it. That's so funny.
That's me. I shouldn't talk for other people.
No, it's terrifying. And we started mountain biking in Utah. We lived in Park City, and it was so fun. We were having a blast, and then I got pregnant. The skiing this year. Do you ski?
I do, but we didn't get out there this year at all.
Oh, bummer.
There's so much work on that house that it kind of...
I totally understand.
It doesn't even look like we made progress, but that was sort of
the
like
first
what
winter,
we
didn't go.
Yeah.
Because we were so enthralled and swamped and poor. Like, we can't do anything.
That too.
Yeah, you're like... And so we were doing all that, and then I bought passes for this last winter. I was like, we can go. Like, we're getting close to the end, and
nice.
Kids hated it. Like, just laying there, sliding down the hill. Me and Mike were losing our minds, and come on, because we're like, this is a family. This isn't this fun, Just like, I don't want to, and I'm so cold, and I'm like, So you can't give up. You just have to keep taking them and hiking this stuff up the hill with dealing with the crying. I mean, even putting the ski boots on for the first couple times is a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
But the fourth and fifth time, ski boots go on. Put your foot in the ski boot monster. And you sweat a little less carrying all the gear up the thing because it's not just their stuff, it's your stuff and everybody's stuff. There's so much stuff. And then Parker actually stayed up, and then Cannon wanted to go do another run on the last day that we got to go. He was like, come on, Mom, let's go do a run. And I was like, okay, yeah, so we're getting there. So we'll get there. It's just, awesome. it's a process. Yeah. Everything's a process.
Anything else you want to add?
We are running a promotion.
Ooh.
Yes, we're running a promotion now through May 31st. We're calling it Mother's Day Sunshine and Wine, right? Mm-hmm. So come on down, and you don't have to come here. You just book your room online. It's up and running. I put it in there today. It's 20% off your whole stay, but book and stay between now and May 31st. And we're going to partner with Palisade Pedicab and I think they're going to do a 10% off for the wine tours. It'll be a beautiful time of year. Everything's going to be blooming. It's going to be pretty.
It's the best, too. Not too hot. Perfect.
Just perfect. Yes, right?
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate you reaching out. And it was awesome to hear from you, and just appreciate you making the time to talk.
Of course. Thank you for starting such a cool podcast for Palisade. I love it. I really appreciate it.
Cool.
I really do. I think this is going to be great. It's fun to listen to and informative, and it helps us know what's going on with all the local businesses and just people in general. It's good. It's good. Yeah, thank you for doing what you do.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
If you're enjoying this podcast, let me know by leaving a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or a follower rating on Spotify. If you're interested in being on the show, or if you have ideas for a future show, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at lisa@postcardsfrompalisade.com. The Postcards from Palisade podcast is available on all major podcast distribution platforms. Find us and subscribe now so you never miss an episode. Latest episodes and links to more information are also posted on the website, postcardsfrompalisade.com. Thanks for listening. With love from Palisade.